Rebel 2. Action!
Good afternoon everyone, I am Briareos Kerensky, and while I prepare my review for Love Training Mint, yes, I will go there, I bring you BlayzBloo Clone Phantasma, a Japanese 3DS eShop exclusive. If you are familiar with the BlayzBloo franchise, you might know that Arc System Works released a spin-off for the DS eShop during the Calamity Trigger days, which was not a one-on-one fighter but a melee brawler, where winning was all about throwing opponents out of the ring. And now that Clone Phantasma is out in the Japanese arcades, they decided to do it again. At the time of this review, Axis is evaluating the possibility of bringing this second spin-off to America, but is it worth the money? The first BlayzBloo, which I'm pronouncing like this to differentiate it from the main games, was fun for maybe a day. It lacked depth and refinement, only 5 characters and 2 game modes, though it had local multiplayer. Clone Phantasma doubles the characters roster but trades in local multiplayer for a gallery and something similar to a trophies achievement system.
Noel Vermillion.
All characters have a proper story mode, which I think involves Kokonoe cloning everyone just for fun, but don't ask the details. Story mode revolves around 7 stages where the objective is always to throw a certain number of enemies out of the ring. Enemies are completely mindless and do not pose any kind of threat. Sometimes a boss will appear, and though this boss has access to the complete moveset of his character, it's only marginally harder than the rest of the infinite clones that the game throws at you. Just to spoil this, the final boss of the story mode is different from character to character, and it will be the only part of the game that will require some skill, but I think luck is better, despite the attack pattern always being the same. The final boss can be frustrating due to its cheapness unless you are playing as Makoto, which must be god tier in every game she's in, but I don't really mind, as the more tools a character has to end the stages quickly, the more welcome he or she is. Controls are simple. A attacks, B jumps, X is used for the character's drive, and Y is an area attack that builds up a power meter that affects the standard attacks. L and R are used to zoom in or out the camera. There isn't much to say if not that jumping is completely useless, and even if all characters have different drives that mirror the drives from the main games, you'll be abusing A and X all the time. And the game resets the camera position at every stage or continue, which I find the most annoying feature of the game. Clone Phantasma is extremely repetitive, and the only thing that could keep someone playing the game is to collect all the ending images, but it's something that lasts a day or even less. There is a second game mode, a fight against an endless number of random opponents, but there is anything else. The lack of local or online multiplayer is not a big thing, because Clone Phantasma simply hasn't been thought for PvP, and it's still a quick cash-in like its predecessor. On the technical side, there have been a lot of improvements, as animations and textures are much better, there are reduced cuts from the new Clone Phantasma tracks, voice samples are crispier, though very limited in quantity. And the larger roster allows for less repetition. And, well, it's nice to see super deformed versions of BlayzBloo characters roaming around the battlefield, each with a color palette coming from the main games. Though, in the end, Clone Phantasma is hardly worth the 800 yen that it costs. So, I bid you farewell for 2012, and I will see you next year. Briareos Kerensky, over and out.
Finish!